Hey everyone, this is Cedric from Vertex Marketing Agency, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things that you can do or revisit if ever you're struggling with Facebook ads and having issues getting results. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys today. I'm just going to ask you that you give this video a thumbs up, and what that's going to do is going to allow other people just like you find this YouTube video. That's just how the YouTube algorithm works. But anyways, let me get started. So the first thing that you can do, and I know that a lot of you are gonna roll your eyes when I say this, but it's actually making sure that you have a good offer. Now, I know that this probably is the sort of advice that you hear everywhere else on YouTube, and I promise later in this video, I'm gonna get into some more, like, I guess, practical and technical advice that you can do inside your ad account. But the offer is honestly the foundation. It's a little bit like going to business school and the first thing that you learn is mindset. It's just like the foundation. So having a good offer is really what's going to determine if you're going to get good results with Facebook ads or not. Because I see a lot of companies that have worse ads, don't even use headlines in their ads, and the website is not really a good user experience, and they're still killing it with Facebook ads. And that's because they have a really good offer, or they're maybe the only one doing what they're doing. So that is really, really important, because that is the foundation. And if you're not seeing success with Facebook ads, yes, there's other things you can do, which again, I'm going to talk about that later in this video, but just doing that and working on that can truly, truly help you. And for a lot of the companies that are just getting started, especially like e-com businesses, if you're just getting started, it's important to not just do Facebook ads and expect sales. You want to validate your idea. So you want to build a client list and make sure that when you go and launch and when you start spending a lot of money, let's say on Facebook ads, that you know that people are actually going to buy your products. And it's not just asking your parents and your friends, because obviously they're going to say that your idea is good. It's to actually be able to build like an email list of at least 1,000 people that are all interested in just waiting for you to launch your product. And the second thing on my list is proper setup. So this includes things like the account structure. So there's a lot of different account structure that you can have. And let me give you an example, the prospecting and retargeting structure. So this basically means that you have a campaign for prospecting, and the whole goal of this campaign is to just try to find new people that would want to purchase your product. And then inside your other campaign, the retargeting campaign, then what you do is you retarget people who have, let's say, been to your website or added the product to their cart or liked you or engaged with you on social media. So you're using that structure, and what we found is that usually the structure is what works for like almost like 99% of e-com stores, but it doesn't mean that it's the right structure for you. You're going to want to try different things. A little bit like if you have a headache, usually people, if they have a headache, like taking Tylenol or having a coffee will work and get rid of the headache, but it doesn't mean that it works for everyone. So what gets rid of your headache might be actually a different solution for someone else. But it's a little bit the same thing with the ad account structure. There's a lot of different structure out there. Some people just have one campaign and leave it broad and include both retargeting and prospecting in that campaign. That usually tends to perform better for more like local advertising, based on my experience. But if you're advertising, let's say in like Canada, United States, then a prospecting to retargeting structure is usually what works best. And we actually made a video on this channel that talks about what the audience looks like, especially in the retargeting campaign. So I'm actually going to link to that video somewhere on the screen here, so you can go ahead and take a look at that video. The other thing that I want to talk about is to verify your domain. And that's all, again, all part of the proper setup. It's to verify domains. So to verify your domain, you're going to want to go to business settings, then go to brain safety, and you're going to see an option that says domains, and you can add your domain and verify it. If you want to know exactly how to do it, I actually made another video on this channel showing you exactly how to verify your domain, and I showed you the 3 different ways that you can do it. So I'll leave that link of that video in the description, but it's also going to appear somewhere on the screen here. Other thing that you want to do that is still part of my tip number 2, right? The account structure and making sure everything is set up properly, is your tracking. So you want to go into Advanced Manager and right here and put in your website URL and go through the purchase process, or convert on your website and be a lead, so that you can see all your events coming in properly inside Events Manager. So I actually made another video on how to test that. Again, I'll leave that link in the description of this video, but it's also going to be somewhere on the screen. But that's really, really important, because I can't tell you the amount of times that I started working with the new company and turns out the tracking wasn't set up properly. They were even sending sometimes 2 purchase event when someone was making a purchase, or sometimes the purchase event wasn't triggering all the time. So make sure that that does work properly. And then once you're confident that it is set up properly, you want to make sure that you're receiving the events from both browser side and server side. So there's something called server side tracking, and it's a little bit more technical, but you can send information from your server to the Facebook server, and they actually call it the Facebook Conversion API. And that's really important that you're doing that in 2022 because it is honestly the future, especially with what's going on with iOS 14. If you're using the Conversion API and also using browser tracking, and by the way, browser tracking, when I say that, that just basically means that you're installing like the classic Facebook pixel on your website, and it's just a JavaScript code. But the thing with that is that's a third-party domain trying to collect the information about your users. When I mean the third-party domain is Facebook, and Facebook on your website is trying to collect information about your users, and things like ad blockers and Apple, they do not like that. And sometimes they'll block the Facebook pixel, and you're not going to be able to see an events manager and inside your campaign. So the Conversion API is actually a way to help with that. It's not 100% accurate, but it gives you that little boost, and you're going to be able to get more visibility inside your campaigns. If you want to know exactly step by step how to set it up, or just to make sure that you have it if ever you're not sure, I made a video on this channel showing you exactly how to send events from both the browser and server. So go ahead and click that link to watch that video. And the last thing that you wanted to do in order to make sure that everything is set up properly, and I'm still talking about my point number 2, which is the account setup, everything set up properly, is aggregated event measurement. So basically you need to go inside Events Manager, and there's an option that says aggregated event measurement, and you need to tell Facebook which events that you care about. And there's going to be an order list. So you actually have 8 options. And at the top, it could be something like your purchase event. Then after that, maybe initiate checkout. Then after that, maybe it's, I don't know, add to cart. But you need to figure out what are the events that are most valuable for your business, and then put them in order and just submit that. And in about 72 hours, they're going to be active inside your account and your pixels. If you want to learn a little bit more on how to do that and set that up, again, I made another video on this channel showing you exactly how to do that. It's going to be somewhere on the screen. Now, I apologize for mentioning a lot of different videos in this video, but I truly want to make sure that I'm giving you guys as much value as possible. And if it means that I need to send you to a different video so that I can properly explain it, well, I think it makes sense for me to do so. But that's it for the proper setup. Now I'm going to talk about my third point, which is audiences and ads. So let's start with audiences. If we are using the account structure that I mentioned earlier in this video, so the prospecting and retargeting structure, in the prospecting campaign, you're going to want to have different ad sets. So under the ad set level, you want to create your audiences. So I usually recommend that you use an interest-based audience. You can try a lookalike audience, and you can also try a broad audience. Now, in all those audiences for prospecting, I also recommend that you exclude your warm audiences. So people that have been to the website, people that have added to the cart, and if people that have engaged with your Facebook or an Instagram page. I know it sounds weird that you want to exclude these people, but don't worry, you're still going to target them with ads inside retargeting. And now that we're talking about prospecting, let's go into like more on the ads. In prospecting, you have to keep in mind that those people don't know who you are, and the reason we know that is because we're excluding your warm audiences. So you want to create ads that does a good job at getting people to know, like, and trust you. So things like UGCs or explainer videos, or even something like a Meet the Founder video is something that would work really well in prospecting. But something like, let's say if you sell products, a carousel, you can definitely try it, but that might not be the best thing for prospecting. That maybe more something for retargeting, and I'll give you some more examples for retargeting. But for prospecting, you really want to make sure that at the end of the video or the image that they know exactly what you offer and the benefits. And if ever you're not sure, ask a friend, maybe a friend that doesn't really know your business or what you do. Hey, if I send you this video, do you know exactly what I'm selling? Like, do you understand exactly all my main points? And ask them. And if ever you don't like their answer, or you feel like, no, well, I don't think you really got it, then you know that you need to do a better job at explaining to users the benefits and why they should be buying from your company. Now, if we talk about retargeting, for your retargeting campaign, like I said, will be your warm audience. So you can include people that have been to the website, added the product to the cart. And technically, if they added the products to the cart, that means they've also been to the website, right? Well, I even will add the people that have added to the cart and go through all the different events. And I actually add all of that inside my audience. And the reason for that is because sometimes, for whatever reason, Facebook is going to receive an add to cart event but won't receive a view content event, and vice versa. So I would want to make sure that my audience is as big as possible, especially post iOS 14. So I literally stack everything together, even sometimes video views. So depending on the video, if it's like a cat video or a funny video that the company decided to post on social media, then I won't use the video views for that. But let's say it's a good instruction instruction video or like a UGC, then I'll actually retarget the video views, and I'll retarget people that have liked and engaged on the social media. So I put all these people inside my warm audience, and then depending on the company, sometime what I'll do is I'll actually exclude people that have purchased in the last 7 or 10 days, but that depends on the price of the product and also how often they purchase. So if ever people purchase on like the loyal customers, let's say they purchase every, I don't know, 2 to 3 months, what I'll do is I'll adjust the time frame, but I'm always trying to include the people who have just purchased. So that's for the audience. Now for the ads, this is where you want to try things like carousel. Carousel works really well for e-coms, for retargeting, especially if you sell multiple products. Another thing that could work is a dynamic carousel. So it's gonna grab whatever product that Facebook think that your user would like to see and maybe purchase. Another thing that you can do is like compared price. So if you're selling a product and that product is actually on sale right now, show the regular price and then show the compared price at. Testimonials really, really good. One thing that we like doing is in our retargeting campaign, in our ads, we will actually add a short testimonial in the copy. So in the primary text, we'll actually put a testimonial there, and we'll go ahead and grab like the star emoji and put like 5-star, and then we'll put the testimonial there. That works really, really well. Obviously, we won't just have that. We'll have like maybe one sentence just to kind of explain the product, just for in case they forgot what it is. And then we'll add like a good short customer review inside the copy. But there's a lot of different things that you can do. And for retargeting, you can try just simple images of your product and maybe have a testimonial on the picture, but you don't need to really use longer video like you are using in prospecting, because these people know you and you potentially want to be able to attract them to the website by discounts or showing reviews or creating, this hype around your product. Now let's talk about number 4, and that is really the last piece of puzzle, because if you think about it, we've covered number 1, which is making sure that you have a great offer and that you are sure that there is a market out there that would buy your product. So you've validated your idea. Number 2 is just really making sure that you don't have any technical issues, so that you are using the proper account setup and everything is just set up properly. Number 3 is we talked about audiences and what I recommend for, let's say, prospecting, retargeting, and some ads that you can try. So if you follow all these different points, then really all it comes down to is just being able to generate new ideas, implementing these ideas, testing them, and then learning from them. So what I mean by that is just try different ad angles. So let's say that in your retargeting campaign, you have just a simple image of your product, and that's not really performing really well. Well, maybe you can try that image and then someone holding that product, for example, and then try that. If that doesn't work, well, try your product beside a dog or a cat. Those tend to perform really well on the Facebook, because that's why people go on Facebook, is to watch cat videos. So try a bunch of different angles. Let's say UGC, there's a bunch of different types of UGCs. Do some research, see like, should it be more like a review or like an open the box UGCs? There's so many different things that you can try. But again, it's all about generating those ideas and being able to actually implementing them and learning from those ideas, because that's the most important thing. Let's say me and you were to hop on a call and then ask you, okay, Patrick, tell me exactly last 3 months what you've learned inside your ad account. Would you be able to answer me and say, hey, Cedric, so here's what we've tested and here's exactly what we've learned, and due to those learning, here's how we're actually creating ads now. So would you actually be able to tell me exactly that? And it's not super hard. You don't need to be like a data scientist to do that. It could literally be as simple as keeping track or keeping note of that on a Google Sheet. So that's something that we do, and I think it's really, really important, because if you're not constantly learning about your audience and different ways that you can bring people from Facebook to your websites, honestly, you're not really using Facebook ads to its full potential. So guys, that is it for this video. Those are my 4 main points, but I just want to say that if ever right now you are struggling with Facebook ads, I just want to say don't give up. You're doing good, like you're on the right path. It's just a question of figuring what works for you. And if you're actually making more than 20K per month, go ahead and click the link on the screen, or it's also going to be in the description of this video, and go ahead and book a free strategy session with me. And what I'm going to do on that call is actually take a deep dive inside your ad account, and I am going to bring you on the right path. And after that call, you're going to know exactly what you need to do, and then you can decide if you want to take these tips and strategies and just implement them yourself, or if you want to actually bring us along in the journey. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Bye for now.